It's Thursday night. I'm here. You're beautiful. That must mean it's time for GotBot Goes live. And yeah, I hope you guys are having a tremendous week. Mine's been hit or miss, up and down. We had another snowstorm, and because of said snowstorm, I had to go out today and shovel again. And my neck has really been bothering me. I think I mentioned it last week. Still bugging me, man. Still really kind of bugging me. But I hope your week is going tremendously well. Let's see here. I'm going to just get a couple of things set up, as always. And then we're going to get into really a fair amount of news because we had TFCon. I did, thanks to our buddy Blue Raccoon, I did get to see the remaining episodes of Earthspark. So I will kind of talk about that a little bit. I don't want to say much in case anybody hasn't seen it, but I'll give my general overview on it. I'll also say this now. We have some news, of course, from Legacy and from Rise of the Beast, as well as some other third-party things besides what was at TFCon. You may, partway through the show, hear Starscream wife going around. She's actually working right now. She's been down. No, you know what? She has been down. Actually, she's been a real trooper and putting in some kind of busy, long days at work, and she's been sick with the big C that you know, we are hopefully moving away from. Hard to believe that she's actually been you know, I guess gotten I don't even know what to call it now. Are we allowed to say, I'm just gonna say it. Are we allowed to say COVID? She got COVID for the second time. And you know, she's really been a trooper through it and putting in a long day today. So when she's done, you may hear her moving around doing stuff and whatnot, just trying to get through her life to relax. And you know what? We're gonna let her. Even if it's noisy for us, we're gonna let her because she has put in I think about a 12-hour day today. It's been a long day. So yeah, that's kind of how things are going around here. Let's just make sure that I've got everything set up the way I want it set up. Let's see here. Bear with me here a second, guys. I'm actually what happened there? Oh, I know what happened there. Wonder if I can. I'm just trying something. Bear with me. Bear with me here. All right. I think we're okay. Are we okay? I think we're okay. So yeah, so you might hear Starscream wife going around and whatnot. I mean, it is what it is, right? And we support her. She's working hard and she's doing it while under the weather. So you know, we try to support her the best we can. Hey, Big M, happy you're here, buddy. Yeah, started a few minutes early, just here early today. Let's see. After seeing some leaks, I decided to pick up Shadow Strip today. I mean, that's up to you. I'm not sold on the Legacy Minosaur to begin with, personally. So I don't need a G2 version, but we'll get around to it in a bit. I don't think it was that great, honestly. I prefer my Combiner Wars, to be perfectly honest. I know that that's not the cool, popular thing to say. I find it more stable. We've talked about it here before. But if you like the new one and you like the G2 look, maybe they're heading that direction. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. But you might be onto something, Big M. Hey, Blue Raccoon. Hey, Mr. Survive Fan. Yeah, she'll be okay. She'll be fine. She's actually on the mend now, but it's been a bit of a tough week for her, no doubt. And things like a snowstorm, like that didn't help things either. Now, she obviously didn't go out doing it, but I've tried to kind of be helpful and kind of cater and stuff and do what I can to help out. Little hard when I'm out there, you know, a lot of physical exertion too, because it was very like waterlogged snow, so it was extremely heavy. And where I've already had a pain in my neck, it's just a pain. That's all. Found Metal Hawk at Target on Monday, so I'd have to say my week has been completely wretched. What? Oh, hasn't been completely wretched. Okay, whew. Ooh, I'm glad it's not wretched for you, man. It's been. I found something new. That's wretched. No. Hey, Brian. And Brian. Hey, Input. Hey, Halo. Got Legacy Evolution Twincast a few days ago, and he loves it. I mean, I have the blaster and I have the Shattered Glass blaster. I mean, I don't need it a third time. I've seen it, and it looks great. If you're into the blue and the bright yellow pop and stuff, like there's nothing wrong with it. I wouldn't mind having the rewind. I'll be honest about that. I wouldn't mind having the rewind, but it's fine mold. If you want a Twincast, it's probably the most ideal Twincast that you're gonna get. Just got a Kingdom Road Rage today, and I'm happy to say that she does not have the leg issue that plagues the mold. My Trax doesn't have that leg issue, but my Road Rage does a little bit. So I know it through there. But yeah, I mean, when you can avoid, that's one of those molds where when you can avoid the issues, it's actually a really neat mold, to be honest with you. I'll definitely, what? I definitely will be getting cloud cover, but mostly okay. I'm not up to that yet, but we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get there. CW is better than Legacy. I think so too, Input, but that's just we're the minority, buddy. No, you haven't. No, nobody's gotten banhammered. Not yet, anyway. Hey, JL. How long has this been running? What time? You didn't miss much. I came on only a couple of minutes early. You're here right about the right time, buddy. Hey, Marcus. Okay, let's get into the news then, ladies and gentlemen. Let's start off with TFCon. I wasn't going to, but let's start off with TFCon because there's a lot that came out of there. A lot of it we've already seen, so I can actually get through it fairly quickly. First things first, HTV Toys showed off their Soundwave and the cassettes. I have Soundwave, Laserbeak, and Ravage, not the full color version. I had to paint mine. The Soundwave is the best one that I have, and they're all pretty good, but the Soundwave is the best nanobot that I have. The Ravage and the Laserbeak, they don't move. They don't have articulation, but for the microscopic size that they are, they're pretty great. The molding is really, really nice. Or I'm saying the molding, the design is really, really nice. I don't, however, have Rumble and Frenzy. I'd love to. He also showed up Brawn, Shockwave, Grimlock, and it seems like in both robot and dino mode, which is pretty cool. Hound, who I really want, and a hammer for Unicron, a Unicron hammer, if you will, that can go with 01 Studio Cell. I suppose you could use it with the HasLab Unicron, but it might be kind of small in his hand. I don't recall Unicron with a hammer. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe you do, but it looks really cool, really spiky. I mean, I don't have a problem with it at all. I love the nanobots. Honestly, I love the nanobots. I'm glad he's doing more of them. Man, when I see my way clear, I gotta get some more. Toy Notch. Never heard of Toy Notch before this, and they're doing the Astrobots. And I said I've never heard of the Astrobots, and they have characters with names like Artemis and Apollo and Vulcan with a K. Argus, but that's an acronym for something, right? It's A period, R period, G period, U period, S period. Athena, Tarantula, and Wasp. Basically, this is Simon Furman's new project. So I guess he's hoping that a lot of the fans that love his work in Transformers will love him now doing Astrobots. They look pretty cool, pretty neat designs. You can see a few nods to kind of Transformers, esque-ish, so to speak. But it's definitely its own thing with its own aesthetic. But if you like big robots, it looks pretty neat. Magic Square, they showed off their super deformed Chromia. She turns into the motorbike. Think Generations. And I don't mean the Siege one. I mean the Generations one that turned into that like light cycle or whatever it was based on the Prime RC mold. This is like a super deformed version of that. Magic Square also showed off their Combaticons. We've seen it before. They showed off their Slag, which I talked about just a couple of weeks ago. last week. Maybe it was only last week. And I said, man, for something that's legend size, that's infinitely better than I think the Legacy Evolution. Yeah, it's not going to combine, but it looks like the Dinobot Triceratops that he should be. And Magnus white cab. I always hate when they do the white cab Magnus. I don't know. It's not my Magnus, I guess. It might be yours. But obviously, it's another reuse of their fairly well-known Optimus Prime mold. Although, to be fair, when we're talking about Optimus Prime mold reuses, I I really think that New Age has the lock on that win because they've done everything with that Optimus Prime mold. Great mold, wonky chest, but man, they've recolored it so many times. I mean, you can't blame them, right? You can't blame Magic Square. You can't blame New Age. Speaking of New Age showed off their Power Glide. Looks splendid, looks spectacular, looks like a perfect Power Glide. They also showed off that same Power Glide repainted as the e-hobby version of Bad Boy, GotBot Bad Boy. And as technically it's Viper, the Cobra Rattler, right? And we know that that was released in Combiner Wars as Viper. So again, it looks great. Looks really great. I'm happy with my Combiner Wars ones, but these might be the Power Glide and Viper and even Bad Boy for you, because you know why not? They showed off their their huffer, their pipes. Both look splendid. Again, I assume they're quite small. Their sludge, who looks really, really good. I really like their sludge. Their wind charger. And I thought that this one was really cool. Their Autobot Spike. They showed off Autobot Spike. Doesn't look like he has an alt mode, but it looks like he comes apart in pieces, I suppose. Kind of like Studio Series Cup, if you will, right? Think along those lines of like Studio Series Cup. Oh, by the way, also in the dealer room, we had a great look at Fans Toys Parkour, who is their version of Cliff Jumper. I'm not a Fans Toys fan at all, but I got to admit, if you're in for a masterpiece Cliff Jumper, forget about the Takara one, go with the Fans Toys one. There have been other ones, but in both vehicle mode and robot mode, I have yet to see anything that can hold a candle to the Fans Toys one. Now, remember, if you know me at all, you know I don't like that company, and I'm not a big fan of their products. But if I'm telling you that I'm pretty confident that this is the single best version or looking version of Cliff Jumper, man, you can take it to the bank. How good or bad is the transformation? I don't know, man. I don't know. That's the key. The engineering of parkour will be the key. But for robot look and for vehicle look, I feel like if the transformation is okay and you can get to both modes fairly intuitively, fairly easily, fairly enjoyably, I feel like both modes are winners. Like I feel like both modes are, yeah, probably worth the trek to get there. We also saw lots in the, I guess, the dealer room. We saw lots of other third-party stuff that we've seen like a bunch of times over. It's nice to see it again on display, but nothing really new stood out in the dealer room. I just wanted to mention that because I'm going through kind of the slides, and before anybody says, well, what about the dealer room? I don't really have anything to say about the dealer room, to be perfectly honest. Going back to the slides, Bingo Toys. And I feel like Bingo Toys was the one that had all the controversy over that magnificent wind blade, where it wasn't really their design and it wasn't really their wind blade. Well, they're back at it again. And this time they're trying female arachnid or black arachnia. Specifically, it seems to be transmetal black arachnia. And she looks beautiful. Is it their own design? I don't know, but she looks really, really great. I'd like to know the size. I would like to know if this is meant to be MP scaled or go with like your kingdom stuff or what. But all that we saw was like a test shot, but it looks really, really good. Really, really good. O1 Studio just showed off the same pictures of Seed, which is their version of Primus, to go with Unicron here. But nothing new, nothing we haven't seen before. Fans Toys I mentioned with Paracore. Fans Toys also showed off their version of Scourge, who looks great, very nice metallic finish. They showed off their gears, and he has like a nice like opening chest. I don't know, like you can see like the insides of his gears and stuff. He comes with 6 faces and what I'm going to call his welder. It's a hand accessory. We also saw Swerve. Swerve, of course, very, very similar to Gears. Swerve comes with 3 heads or 3 faces and 3 helmets, I guess. One of them matches the red of his body. The other 2 are a little more pinkish rather than matching the red of his body. There's an argument for both of those being accurate to the character. Depends on what you want. So I'd seen the Scourge before, but really in the depth of seeing the numerous faces and the open chest and whatnot with the gears and seeing the Swerve, they were new to me at least. Maybe they're not to you. Metagate. Metagate showed their movie, Bumblebee movie, Optimus Prime. Looks good, looks great. They also showed a bludgeoned sword and head, but I have no idea who this is for. I don't know what version of bludgeon it's for. Maybe I missed something. I've never heard of Metagate. They're new to me. So I don't know. It was a beautiful looking head. I just don't know who it's for. XTB just showed off Streetwise. We've seen him before. Fans Hobby showed off Bossman, who is the exclusive there. They also showed off their Jetfire and Overload that can go with their Armada Optimus Prime. And they showed off Dreadwing and I guess Buster, as well as kind of teasing kind of some designs and stuff for Darkwing. Like if you're doing Dreadwing, you're going to do Darkwing and you're going to make Dreadwing, right? Or if you have Buster, you're going to make Hydra. Is that the other one? And again, they'll be able to go together. Do you prefer North America? Do you prefer Japan? Right? That's what it really boils down to with the Fans Hobby stuff. I do think that the full combined mode and the full trailer mode and whatnot of their Optimus, their Jetfire, and their Overload, though I'm not a Unicron trilogy guy, man, even I have to admit and say, if I was getting that, to see that entire setup together and combined, like I've seen the originals, I've reviewed the originals, I have it here on the channel, and I'll admit that when everything is put together and you have, Jetfire just rested there just right and whatnot, it's impressive. I can only imagine that coming from Fans Hobby, it's going to look even more impressive. If Fans Hobby isn't your thing, if you're not an MP person, you're like a mainline person, well, you know what? Maybe, just maybe, the best thing to do in your case is wait for the legacy stuff. I have to believe that if they're doing the Armada Optimus, that at some point you'll get the Jetfire you want, you'll get the Overload you want. I got to believe that. I hope. But that being said, while I say that, it's all going to depend on how well it sells, right? Vectron Labs, they showed off their Scrapper, really a test shot of it, fairly large. I guess it's more MP scale. I thought they were Legend scale. I don't know why. But the Vectron Labs Scrapper, I mean, he looks to be Voyager, maybe even Leader scale, and he's a leg. Like this Devastator is going to be pretty big. I feel like it's going to rival the toy world, and I think it's going to look far more G1 animation accurate. Not perfect, maybe, but I think it's going to be a lot closer if it's built well. Because here's the thing. The version from Toy World, a lot of people say it's very Studio Ox in design, and I agree. I think it is very Studio Ox in design, but it's touted as magnificent. It's touted as impressive, and I can't argue that with you, to be perfectly honest. I do believe with every fiber of my being that if this does well, it will unseat him as champion. But if this doesn't do well, it's going to bury Vectron Labs. This is a make or break, even if they tease the Megatron. You need this Devastator to work. You really need this Devastator to work. MMC, old-time favorite, right? MMC, they showed off their female G1 Starscream and female Armada Megatron. Now, this isn't like a girl dressed up in robot parts. It's, what if Megatron was a female? What if Starscream was a female? They look great. Slender, sleek, chic, cool. I mean, I'm with it. It's kind of the same treatment that they gave Tarn, right? They showed off their Rewind. They showed off their Double Dealer, who we've seen a bunch of times, and their Hotspot, who we've also seen a bunch of times. Then we get to the last part of, then we get to the last part of the slideshow, and it was Iron Factory, man, oh man, oh man, did Iron Factory come out swinging. So they showed off their female seekers. I believe that these are the ones where it is girls wearing robot parts. Then it was like combiners, turn combiners. I didn't really know what that meant because it was just the numbers, but it looks like they're doing versions of the DJD that combine together. Cool. I think I like it. I think it's a really cool idea. I mean, again, it's too bad that they're all just legends, but if you're into legends, man, I'm telling you, Iron Factory's nailing it. If I was just a legends collector, I'm not gonna lie, between New Age, Magic Square, and Iron Factory, I mean, I'd be in my glee. What else did they have? They showed their Primal Prime, which I mean looks like Optimal Optimus, except he's like red and blue, and he's traditional Optimus Prime colors, right? Leadfoot we saw looks really good. Looks like the G2 Leadfoot. Looks really, really cool. Then there were just some letters A, M, F, G, S. I'm not sure what exactly they were pictured, but we saw Inferno as well as Red Alert. They both look splendid. We saw Artfire, of course, from the Inferno mold. We've seen pictures of this before. Looks splendid. Same with Grapple. We saw Smokescreen and Silver Streak. Again, like they look great, kind of Cybertronian to me, but I don't mind the look of it at all. We also saw Prowl, and they did an animated Prowl using that same kind of Datsun-ish mold, but in the animated colors with a different head. It's a different take on animated Prowl for sure, but I don't think I hate it, which is strange because I thought I would. Their Brawn looks splendid. Their Outback looks splendid. Then they showed their Lio Kaiser, a Legends class Lio Kaiser. And you know what? Combined, he looks amazing. And I'm pretty sure some of those letters and stuff were each of the members, right? Leozak or Jaguar or Hellbat or so on and so forth, right? Because there's 6 of them, as you well know. Yeah, I mean, a Legends class Lio Kaiser. Put that with the Tarn, and the Autobots are in trouble, man. Put that with the Tarn combiner, and the Autobots are in trouble. In fact, they even went so far as to do a version of Death Cobra. Like, come on. You do all 6 members, then you also do a Death Cobra. I'm blown away. I really am. I know it's Legends, but man, oh man, oh man. What a great looking Lio Kaiser. Really, really impressed. They showed off their Springer. Looks amazing. Their G1 with Flames Fallen looks splendid. Now, I have the Make Toys Chaos Paladin as my like G1 Fallen. But man, oh man, this one looks so good. Their Sideswipe and their Sunstreaker. The Sunstreaker is a reuse of the Sideswipe. I always hate when they do that because it's obviously not Sunstreaker because the roof isn't on the chest, it's the hood. I get why you do it. Why wouldn't you? And I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure a lot of people that are into Legends would get it and be like, this is a good enough Sunstreaker for now. But that's the thing. It's a good enough Sunstreaker for now. They can definitely do better. And I predict that at some point they will. They showed off their Primal, their Cheetor, which both look really, really good. Really impressed, especially with the Cheetor. Starscream, Thundercracker, Skywarp. They showed off Delta Magnus, who looks splendid as well. If you know there are Ultra Magnus, this is the same thing in Delta Magnus colors, I suppose. And they showed off a Toy Colors Galvatron. Their little Galvatron, again, splendid. And when I say Toy Colors, I'm saying that because I don't know what else to call it, but think in terms of the Generation Selects, like Kingdom Galvatron, where most of his body's gray and his arms are purple. It's that coloration, right? And he might come with the Creation Matrix as well. Not 100% sure on that. But I think of everything that was shown at TFCon, I think the strongest, most interesting set of showings came from Iron Factory. I think that they are the ones who stole the show this year, personally. But, I mean, that's just me. You might think completely different. And that's fine too, man. You think completely different if you want. Let's hold on. I'm not sure what's going on here with my phone. I don't know who this is. Someone is. I don't even know who this is. What? Oh. That's cardboard bots texting me during a live stream. Cardboard bots is texting me during a live stream. His number's in my phone, but I haven't put his name on it. It's still in there as the number. That's why I wasn't sure, and I didn't have time there to go back and read older messages. That's cardboard bots texting me during the live stream, just trying to throw me off my game. Right. And he did. He succeeded. Cardboard Bot succeeded. By the way, if you haven't checked out Cardboard Bots, though I can't imagine you haven't, check him out. We all know he's great. Yes, you absolutely did get me. What else do we have here? SXSW. SXSW is like a CinemaCon, basically. A lot of Rise of the Beast stuff coming out of there. A real lot of Rise of the Beast stuff coming out of there. Let's jump into it. First, we've seen the first cardboard cutout stand with Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, RC, and Mirage on one side, and then on the other side of that cardboard stand is Primal, Rhinox, Cheetor, and Air Racer. I would venture to say that in terms of the heroes and the good guys, those 8 are going to be your 8 for this film. We also saw a giant statue made of resin and fiberglass of both Optimus Prime, who stands 20 feet tall or 6 meters, and Optimus Primal, who stands 13 feet tall or 3.9 meters in gorilla mode. He's also much deeper than the Optimus Prime. They're going on a world tour along with a 15-foot tall version of Mirage. And they're going to be going, I mean, when I say world tour, I'm not kidding. I mean, they're going to various locations in the US, Brazil, Singapore, Japan, Mexico City, London, Australia, Berlin, so on and so on and so on. More dates to be added. So you might get to see a gigantic statue of Optimus Prime and Optimus Primal. Cool, I guess. Certainly a chance for a photo op, right? Certainly a chance there for a photo op. So a whole lot there. What else do we have? We saw a number of videos too, like clips. They're fun little videos. It didn't really give us any new extra information. We know as well that there's going to be a couple of Rise of the Beast puzzles. These apparently are going to be exclusive to Australia and New Zealand. One is 300, the other is 460 pieces. They look to be character collages. I guess, if we're going to say that they're character collages. If you're into puzzles, I mean, cool. But here's the biggest news for Rise of the Beast. So we finally saw the jungle mission. Now, months ago, I reported a couple of multi-packs for what I didn't know. I knew it was for Rise of the Beast, but I couldn't guess what the multi-packs would be. Well, we found out later that it was Jungle Mission. Little did I realize that there was more than one Jungle Mission pack. The first Jungle Mission pack will have the mainline deluxe release, not the studio series molds, but the mainline deluxe release of Cheetor. So not the studio series Voyager Cheetor, but that other Cheetor mold that we saw where the back legs of the cheetah are bronze and he looks a lot more G1, as well as Nightbird. We saw that deluxe Nightbird and the Wheeljack. Blah, I don't like the Wheeljack, but you know what? I don't think they should have called it Wheeljack. You know what I could have accepted that as, even though the alt mode would be totally wrong. But based on the colors, based on the goggles, Thrash. It reminds me of the motorcycle boy Thrash from Earthspark. The colors are real similar. Not the face, but the goggles and the kind of whitish color and stuff. I think I could have accepted it better as a version of Thrash. Though, then I still would have complained and said, why is he this van and not a motorcycle? Right? Can't win with me. I'm too cranky. But I mean, the Cheetor mold was pretty renowned. The Nightbird, a lot of people said that that's the version of Nightbird that they'd like to have. And the Wheeljack, I mean, there are people out there that have it already. Will there be individual releases of these? One would think yes, but because there are people who have gotten early samples. If you go by that, then yeah, they're going to get individual releases. My guess is that they bought, something stolen from a factory and that the way you're going to get it is in these 3-packs. I think it's an interesting way and probably a smart way to approach this. The other Jungle Mission pack will have Bumblebee, as well as, I don't think the Bumblebee looks that great. I'm not going to lie. If you're going to get a Bumblebee for this movie, get the Studio Series one. Air Razor, not what they're calling old Air Razor, which is the Studio Series 1 using the Kingdom mold. But that first Air Razor mold that we saw, that was a little younger looking, a little smaller. And now it didn't seem to have wrist articulation, and I don't think it has ankles. And we talked about that, but we're going to get to that in a second. And Mirage, the Mirage, the licensed Porsche Mirage, that's going to be in this pack as well. Here's the thing. The first pack is due out in April, so pretty soon, for 60 US. Now, the going rate for a deluxe in the US, by my understanding, has been $24.99, so $25. You times that by 3, that's 75, but this is going to be 60 US. I think these are a little simpler of deluxes, which is why maybe they've removed ankle tilt. Maybe they've removed wrist rotation. If you're going to charge me less and remove a couple of things like that, while it's certainly disappointing, at least you're charging me less. Yeah, three bots for $60 US. I would assume it'll probably be 70, 75 Canadian. Yeah, I think that's okay, honestly. Cheetor, Nightbird, Wheeljack, or Bumblebee, Air Razor, Mirage. I don't know. I think they are both strong packs. You know, like I look at the first one and I'm like, Cheetor looks like a good mold. Nightbird looks like a good mold. The Wheeljack, I don't like it as Wheeljack, but it's a good enough looking mold. Interesting alt mode. The Bumblebee, I mean, I can always do without a Bumblebee, as you know, but the Air Razor looks great. The Mirage looks great in it. And then we also have, by the way, that one's due out in August. So the first pack with Cheetor, Nightbird, and Wheeljack, April. The pack with B, Air Razor, Mirage, due in August, both of them for 60 US. Then we also have a, I don't know what we call Beast Alliance. No, Alliance Beast Weaponizers. There you go. And that's Scorponok and Sandspare. I don't know if Scorponok is the big Predacon bot or the little Scorpion. I'm hoping that Scorponok is the little Scorpion and that Sandspare is the bigger bot, because guess what? I could get a Sandspare to go with my Predacons. I'm just saying, I'm okay with that. And that's only $14.99 US. So maybe $22 Canadian. I think I'm in for the Predacon one. I really do. I dig it. I like it. And I think that's everything for Rise of the Beasts. But those packs, man. Those packs, man. Yeah, I think that's it for Rise of the Beasts. Yeah. Mech Shell Studio. Anybody ever hear of Mech Shell Studio? I know I haven't heard of Mech Shell Studio. But they're doing an Armada Starscream that looks maybe Voyager-ish, is what I'm thinking. He comes with his Minicon, though his Minicon is in vehicle mode and non-transforming as a race car. I think it's a race car. His wing can become a sword. They showed him with the translucent swords that came with the deluxe generations Armada Starscream some years ago, and the I guess the version of the Star Saber that came with the more recent Legacy Starscream. I'm guessing he's Voyager-ish. I feel like it's an odd time to release an Armada Starscream when we just got an official Armada Starscream. It'll be interesting to see how well that, I guess, that version does. He does also come with 3 pairs of hands for whatever that's worth. So make of that what you will, I guess. What else do we have here real quick? Out in Canada, we have RC, the little core class RC. I've seen it. It's not for me, but it might be for you. I do think leaving her wheels down under her feet helps. It makes her taller. Also out here is the Voyager Cheetor. Have not seen it. Apparently Rumble Wheelie is also out in Canada. I have not seen those. Freezer's a little 4-armed weirdo that I've heard nothing good about. I know a couple of people who have him and say, don't waste your money. He's not good. Make of that what you will. That's not even me saying it. That's other people telling me. The Air Razor, the Studio Series 1 looks splendid. The Studio Series 100 Bumblebee actually looks pretty good, honestly. Battle Trap, Metal Hawk, Twin Cast, and Skyquake all out in Canada. Some here, some not. What else do we have here? Earthspark Wave 1 out in the UK, and the buzzworthy Bumblebee Jazz is out in the US. Oh, man. I hope our Toys R Us is getting that Jazz. I want that Jazz. From what I've heard, our local Toys R Us has no orders currently for that jazz. I'm hoping that they'll pop up as the weeks and months pass. I really, really hope. But I don't feel like the Bumblebee sold particularly great, so they might be trepidatious. You got to remember too that that guy here is going to be $45. Like that's what he's going to sell for. So it's a bit of a hard sell, but like B Jazz Wheeljack, right? I mean, I've been saying all along, I didn't think we were going to get a Wheeljack, but man, we might get a Wheeljack. Wouldn't that be a beautiful, splendid thing? Let's just check here. Yeah. I think we're through all that. We're through all of that. And we're through all of that. Are we through all that? Yeah. And we're through all of that. I'm going to do the trivia, and then we're going to get into the last few things of the news, and eventually we're going to get to the... Actually, I'm not going to do the trivia. I'm just going to check in with you guys. Then we'll do the rest of the news. Then we'll do the trivia. Then we'll do the unboxing. Let's get into it with you guys here just a little bit. Let's see here. Bear with me. I know you guys have been chatting up a storm. I've been seeing it go, but I really wanted to get through the news. I'm not ignoring you. Just bear with me a little bit. Let's see how hot we're gonna go her. I know I already saw that. And that. JL says I recently got the Transformers the movie Starscream. Do you mean the Transformers the movie Starscream? Do you mean the retro one? Is that what you mean, JL? Well, I mean, good for you if that's what you got. If it's not that one, then I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Sorry. Coronation Starscream, maybe? I'm not sure which one you're talking about. But you look happy about it, so I'm happy for you. Heard about the leg issue. Are you talking about on that Starscream? Yeah, there's apparently a leg issue on it. I really don't know. I didn't get that Starscream. If they finish G2 Stunticons, I'll keep them in bot mode. That's fair. Hey, Brian. If I didn't say it already, I'm going to say it now. I probably did say it, but I'm not sure. Hey, Manitoba. Listening on the old drive. Careful out there, buddy. We want you to be safe. I never knew Unicron with a hammer either, Dennis. No, right? I'm with you, Mr. Survive fan. Like, I know Animated and Prime Ultra Magnus using one. Yeah, well, the Prime Ultra Magnus one is Solus Prime's hammer, right? Had the Thrilling 30 Chromia. Not a bad mold. No, I wish I had gotten that Chromia. She wasn't here. She never showed up here, and I never ordered her. But I detest the Siege one. I really, really hate it. I think it's an awful, 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 awful mold. One of the worst molds of all time. It falls apart. The hips are loose. She can't bend her knee without moving the junk on the side of her leg. They took everything that was charming, or that I found charming, about the Combiner Wars Fembot mold and ruined it. They were making it better, and I think they made it infinitely worse. One of these days, I'll get that Chromia or a different one. But I like that one. And I like that mold, honestly. Like, I liked it for Prime RC. I'd love it as Chromia. I know it's the wrong alt mode, but I'm okay with it. Haven't seen Earthspark yet. Yeah, so when I do get to Earthspark, I'm going to be very generalistic about it, honestly. Very, very generalistic about it. Because I don't want to ruin for me, and I don't want to ruin for anybody else, right? It's no fun having it ruined. Haven't seen part 2 yet. Yeah, so I'm going to be very careful with my assertions, we'll say. Hey, Anthony. It wasn't a gift. It's not even something I'm going to joke about, Anthony. It was very, very heavy. Imagine taking snow and then saying, you know what we need to do with this to make it worse? Let's soak it with a bunch of rain and water so that it's about 10 times as heavy per shovel full. It's brutal, man. Brutal. What? Origins Jazz came with your snow? Wild. Okay. Hey, Omega Maximus. Typing on a keyboard because it's way better than typing on a phone. Have you ever seen how many typos I make? Newsflash, folks. When you see GotBot post something and you see a ton of typos in it, I'm going to tell you right now, you can guarantee that it was written on a phone, and you can guarantee that I didn't proofread it, and you can guarantee that I find typing on a phone brutal. I hate it. I'm bad at it. I know I'm bad at it. Like, I admit, I'm terrible at it. I'm no good at it. People are better than me at it. Hey, Grimlock Gun. Speaking of Grimlock Gun, and if you haven't seen it, I put up a short earlier talking about these things. These are front foot treads that were printed by Grimlock Gun for me. And of course, this is Skullgrin, Legacy Skullgrin. And a complaint a lot of people had was that the back treads, are there, but there's nothing on the front. Now, to be fair, the back treads by themselves is pretty accurate to the original, because if you look at that, there's only treads on the back, not the front. Nevertheless, it is nice to have actual treads on the front. They are kind of pinned into the feet. Now, here's the thing. You could stand them up like this, and they can use stand as, I guess, shoes. I do find, though, that when you transform him to robot mode, that with all the stuff on his back, I find he gets back heavy, and where this is rounded, he likes to fall back. If anything, what I tend to do, no, I can't do it now, is this tread, of course, comes down and becomes the back of the leg. I tend to put it in the lower hole sideways, so it acts as a heel spur. But I mean, honestly, the guy is covered in 5mm ports and pegs, and this has a 5mm peg and a 5mm port, so you can do what you like with it, really. It's a great little add-on. Very simple, very elegant, very fantastic. If you didn't see the short, check it out after. I mean, the thing's only, I think, like 54 seconds or something. Hey, Paul. Autobot Spike is Build-A-Bot. And the parts are going to come with the other figures like that McAdam. Oh, interesting. I did not know that. I did not know that, Dragonfly. So the Autobot Spike that I mentioned earlier, Build-A-Bot. Actually, that makes sense. That would explain why he comes apart. Him being a Build-A-Bot would make total sense. Kingdom Huffer has trouble holding his gun. Yeah, mine does too. Saw images of M Deluxe Starscream. It looks very good. Yeah. They were out a while ago. Yeah, it does look very good. I mean, it doesn't transform, but it looks pretty good. Blue Raccoon says he's going to drop spoilers, and he keeps saying it, which makes me think he's not going to drop any spoilers. I don't own any Unicron Trilogy figures, Mr. Survive fan, but people local have loaned them to me for review purposes. I don't own any of them, but I've reviewed a bunch of them. I still have some now, I think, to review. A lot of that credit, I'm not going to lie, when you see things, especially from Unicron Trilogy and RID 2001, not going to lie, a lot of that credit goes to Maximal 10 for hooking me up. Skyquake is very good, says Andrew. Wouldn't know. Energon Ironhide is in the show. Yeah, I don't like him. God, I hate Energon Ironhide. He's so bad. He's so bad. He's a real kicker. Vectron Lab is going to be a few inches taller than Toy World. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really been following the Vectron Lab stuff too much, because I've heard some stuff that until seeing this made me think, I don't know if this is ever actually going to come to fruition. We've seen a lot of renders and stuff, but we need to see something more. Seeing now a test shot of Scrapper kind of makes it a little more real. Yeah, I mean, just based on the size of Scrapper, it looks like it would have to be a couple of inches taller, right? It's definitely MP scaled. Man, I hope they build it well. I hope he's magnificent, because they're going to need that win if they want to be taken seriously going forward. I'm definitely going to be skipping a bunch of stuff here, guys, to try and get through everything. Hey, Live. I think Vectron is a scam. Anyone else? I was thinking until this. Hey, Rachel. I'm really not here, or am I? Yes, you're here, Anthony. Combined DJD. Holy, what sort of hell would that unleash? A lot, I would imagine. If there's going to be spoilers, there'll be spoiler reviews. Not spoiler. Yeah, I mean, nobody wants spoilers, right? You don't need to worry about being late. Hey, Cardboard Bots. Hey, Brian. Another Brian. We got 4 or 5 Brians in here tonight. It's a Brian-tastic type of night. What? Who destroyed South Galaxy? I'll go to here. Thanks. Okay. I know I'm skipping some stuff, guys. I apologize. Not in for this run of G1 Walmart reissues. Me either, but I like seeing the pictures of them. I think it's neat that they're doing them finally to look like the animation. Like the Thundercracker is a lighter blue. Looks cool. I think the Hound is brilliant. The only thing about it is, why is he 2 different shades of green? That's throwing me. He should have been all 1 shade of green. The different shades, man, really throw me off. Prime Smokescreen says Blue Raccoon. I like Smokescreen as my first and been working on text commentary to my Legacy showcase. Okay. Got some new fine PLA. If you need a stronger handle for the Autobot hammer, I got you. Thanks, but I think the thing is pretty darn solid. As a matter of fact, for patrons and channel members, a few days ago, I actually put up a discussion about the Wrecker hammer and what its significance is and how it relates to Emirat Zeron and what Emirat means. It was something I was trying new called GotBot Digs Deep. We'll see about kind of going into some deep dives into some more things in the fiction in time, but it was fun. That's up for patrons and channel members. If there's any here who haven't seen that. You see, the Wheeljack could be based on the Dreadbot from TLK. No, stop it. Just let Wheeljack be Wheeljack with his little wing light ears things that turns into the Lancia. That's Wheeljack. Anything else isn't Wheeljack. Never was, never going to be. It's just the way it is. We got the character. It's like Optimus. Like Optimus has been granted a lot of things, but at the end of the day, even if we go with Star Convoy, he always comes back to the same thing. Dude's a truck. It is what it is. There might be variations on that, but dude's a truck. Whenever I see Ken Zalaz, I think that his job is hunting New Yorkers. Me too. I know Jay found Origins Jazz rubbing it in. Got one from the back. Man, you guys slay me. Haven't done the trivia question yet. I'm down for the reissues. That's fair. I mean, if you're down for the reissues, that's fair. Definitely enjoying the pictures. Just wish it was 1998. Fair, buddy. Fair. Okay, let's go back in here just a little bit. Let me get it. My notes. Sorry if I was hitting the mic. I apologize. The world tour we already did. I think we only got a little bit here on the last page. Yeah, let's go back over here to the last page. So the news here. So Reactive or Reactivate, whatever it's called, the new Transformers game, the one that was originally called Rise, and then before that it was called Shine. A good year ago, I said a lot of Shine listings, didn't have a clue what Shine was. None of us did. We know now it's this video game. We've also heard that there'll be a 2-pack of Optimus Prime and Soundwave. Apparently the Optimus will be a Voyager. The Soundwave will be a Deluxe. We also have a listing, not just a rumor. I would say it's more than a rumor because there are numbers and stuff associated with it. I would say we have a listing of another 2-pack with a Voyager Starscream and a Deluxe Bumblebee. I don't know if these are new molds. I assume that they are. Both of these sets are slated to be released in October. We'll see if that happens. We'll see if they come out in October. Dr. Wu showed off 3 iterations or 3 variations, I should say, on their little super deformed chibi style Trypticon that turns into an Energon cube and a base and a ship and a dinosaur. Now you can get that same Trypticon with a metallic finish, which looks pretty slick, but not too far removed from the original release. Or you can get him in ice blue translucent, where he's all blue. Or you can get him in pink and white if you want him to be pink and white for some reason. Here's the cool thing. When he first came out, I said, oh yeah, okay, cool. He comes with full tilt. That looks pretty neat, but full tilt's in vehicle mode. Little did I realize until now that the full tilt can actually stand up, and the bottom of the car is painted. It has a chest, it has a face. Going down the side where the doors are, I think there's molded in hands. Yes, it's not going to transform, but considering that the Trypticon is a chibi, tiny, super deformed thing himself, I think it's neat that not only do they have full tilt there, but they even managed to kind of give him both modes. Listen, if you're saying that's junk, it ain't no worse than that little spike that came with that Bumblebee. That was a terrible Bumblebee. You know the one I'm talking about. It was a buzzworthy 2-pack of Bumblebee and Spike. It was like a little Legends class Bumblebee and a little itty bitty Spike. And to transform him was one step where you just knocked him over. Well, this full tilt is basically the exact same thing, right? Make of it what you will, I guess. Okay, so last 2 bits of news. First, Earthspark episodes 11 through 18. So I'm not going to go back over 1 to 10. If you haven't seen it, watch it. I think it's the best. I think it has potential to be the best fiction since Transformers Prime. Now, I made that assertion based on the first 10 episodes. What about the next ones? I liked episode 11 right away. And then I felt like 12, 13, 14, 15. I watched them and I enjoyed them. And I was like, there's a little bit of peppering here of rescue bots. There's a little bit of peppering here of history. Like we see a different alt mode that Bumblebee had, and Bumblebee explains why he changed his alt mode to the one that he has now in Earthspark. There's a lot of character development. And I mean a lot of character development. I would venture to say that of episodes 11 to 18, I feel like 11, 12, and then 16, 17, 18 is really where the story is built. The other episodes, 13, 14, 15, for sure, at least those 3 are very much about character development. I will say this. Jawbreaker, love the character. I find myself really like pulling for him, you know, like you almost were with an underdog, even though he's not an underdog, but like I'm really pulling for him. And when you watch it, you'll understand why. I think love Nightshade. Now Nightshade actually had a vote in the Countdown Monday for best scientists, and I understand why now. I love the alt mode that Nightshade has. I love the character. I think it's really cool. Really great development. And then everybody's little sister hashtag. I think that she's impetuous and might get herself in trouble at some point, maybe a couple of points. But I tell you who she reminds me a lot of. She reminds me a lot of a very young, very new Cheetor and a very young, very new Smokescreen on Transformers Prime. There's potential here to build and evolve that character to be more responsible, more mature along the way. There was also some nice character development here for Megatron, I felt. And of course, by the end of the season, we end with, you know, a little bit of a twist, a couple of questions that are left. You know, if you're paying attention, in one of those episodes, it's so funny. They're laying some breadcrumbs. They definitely have a long story because they're laying some breadcrumbs. Like, for example, there's an episode called Beer. That's what the title of the episode is. Now, I'm not going to tell you what happens in it, but I do think you should definitely at least watch that episode because something happens in it that's fairly major to that episode. But then, and I'm sure it's going to be major later on. But we don't see it or hear tell of it anymore in episode 16, 17, or 18. So that's a nugget. What we learn in Beer is a nugget of there's something here, something going on, a little more sinister than we're thinking. And I think we're going to explore that more in season 2. By the way, the show has been picked up for season 2. So the first season, 18 episodes. I think it's a win. If I was to pick out the weakest episodes, I would probably say 12 or 13, 14, 15. Even though I enjoyed them, they felt a little more Rescue Bots-ish to me. Take that for what you will. I think it's a fun show. I think it's a fun ride, and I think it's a little bit of something for everyone, but you're probably not going to like everything, if that makes sense. And the last of the news, Walmart exclusive Toxitron Collection. We're getting wild, unreleased G2 colors. That's what this is. It's moving on from Velocitron. Velocitron had 2 waves. We're moving on from it. So far, we have kind of confirmed Toxitron himself, which is a use of the laser prime mold. Logically makes perfect sense. This is up for pre-order now on Walmart. Also, for the leader class offering, it is the, I'll say G2 Tiger colored Grimlock. If you don't know what I'm talking about, TFCon just recently happened, and one of the exclusives was a Grimlock in those colors. And I said last week that I felt like those colors are very much like Weird Wolf. Well, this time it looks like we're taking the Studio Series Grimlock and giving it that same sort of treatment with the blue and the yellow, and I guess it's tiger stripes or something on it. We're also getting, fancy and orange. Do you fancy an orange? If so, get the Studio Series all orange everything jazz. If you're a wrestling fan, you probably heard of all red everything. Eva Marie when she was there. Well, this is like all orange everything jazz. It's a wild, wild color. The Seeker, the cone head using the Ramjet mold, is cloud cover. Oddly, they're doing it with like pixelated clouds rather than a natural cloud cover. You could almost call it, as Maximal 10 did, like 8-bit cloud cover, right? But it's another Seeker. Triple R is definitely going to be in for it. I might be in for it. I'm okay with cloud cover and Toxitron. I'm not really in for the Grimlock, and I'm not really in for the all orange jazz. G2 Mirage, if you don't know the color scheme, that's the pink and orange or pink and green version of Mirage. Dead End. This is what Big M was talking about earlier. G2 Dead End. I love the red on that G2 Dead End. Actually, I've always loved the red on G2 Dead End. But of course, what Big M was talking about is, well, we have Shadow Stripe. Now we have G2 Dead End. That's the 2 arms. All you need is a Motor Master and the 2 legs. Now, it's not for me, but if you're into the G2 colors and you want a Legacy Menasor done that way, maybe. Or maybe you just want the arms to be the G2 arms on the G1 guy, possibly. And then here is the most interesting one, G2 Sideswipe. Now, this could be one of 2 things. When we think G2 Sideswipe, the first thing we think of is like the Siege Alpha Strike Squadron version, where he has basically the black and red kind of inverted, right? The car is black, but his head and his pelvis are red. However, actual G2 Sideswipe is also like a blue and green mix. I think the blue and green, almost neon-y, would match this set more, because the backstory is that apparently Toxitron spilled a bunch of toxic waste and it irradiated a bunch of Transformers and made them all toxic. So this is toxic Grimlock. This is toxic Mirage. This is toxic Jazz. And I don't feel like the black and red would fit in with the toxic theme as much as the bright blue and green would. I think we're going to get a Sideswipe probably using the Earth mold in blue and green, if that's your thing. All of these are unreleased G2 colors, from my understanding, though I feel like a couple of them probably were released. Myself and Mr. Survive Fan were talking earlier and said, you know what? An all-black version of a Seeker, Blackout, possible as well. I'm going to do the trivia question and check in with you guys, and then we'll do the unboxing and get out of here. So the trivia question, ladies and gentlemen, are you listening closely? Listening ears open. According to the Aligned Novels, who was part of the bridge crew of the Nemesis, along with Starscream, Thundercracker, and Skywarp. What other character was a part of that bridge crew? What other Seeker was a part of that bridge crew? Was it A, Ramjet? Was it B, Sandstorm? C, Slipstream? Or D, Thrust? Which other Seeker was on the bridge crew of the Nemesis according to the Aligned novels, like before it came to Earth, right? So you had Starscream, Thundercracker, Skywarp on the Nemesis. Who was on there with them? Ramjet, Sandstorm, Slipstream, or Thrust? I'm going to let you guys answer while I go back and check where I was to and see what you guys have been saying before we get out of here. Let's see. Let's see. How far up do I have to go here? Okay, about here. I'm always trepidatious. Hey, Lance. Yeah, the retro one. Yeah, I hear you, JL. I hear you. Yeah, the box art's splendid on it. Really splendid on it. I was raised with. Okay, we were taught to use them by Boy Scouts. What? Okay, I'm not gonna lie, Anthony. That's terrifying. To hear you say that is terrifying. I'm not even gonna read it, but that's terrifying. People can read the comments. Buzzworthy Jazz also excellent. Wouldn't know. Don't even know if our country will get it, but I sure hope. Yeah, waiting on Origins, Wheeljack. Let's hope. Hot take, Dennis. I prefer the Siege Chromia to T30. Oh gosh, that's as bad as input picking the Earthrise RC. The Siege is awful. She can't even stand up. Why would you like that mold? I have yet to be able to get that character to stand up. The ankles are loose. The pelvis falls off. The front of the pelvis falls off. She can't bend her knee. I don't like anything about it from top to bottom. I don't like the look of the vehicle. I don't like the look of the robot. I don't like the head sculpt. The eyes look dead. I really detest it. But I am curious though, Anthony. What is it specifically that you prefer about it? That snow is nasty. I had to do my neighbor's driveway. That snow was nasty. No, there's everything with the Siege Chromia. Everything. It's a terrible mold. It's only fit to be driven over by monster truck. Hey, Snoke. I only have one Canadian's phone number. It cost me $1.99 US the first minute, 99 cents each additional minute. Yeah. You might want to be careful with that one, buddy. Kicker is not the best input. Lies. What? Wars is the worst? Okay. Everybody knows Mr. Survive fan. Hey, Super Robot Ed. Hey, Trents. I hope the reactive game would be out before the toys. I mean, I don't know when the game's coming out is the thing. I haven't heard a release date for the game. I've heard October for the toys. Make of that what you will, I guess. I don't know what's going to happen with it, but I mean, you know, as soon as I know anything, I'll report it to you guys, and then you'll know, right? I got a chicken named Nightshade. That's cool. Earthrise never had a show. I think you mean Earthspark, and everybody's entitled to use whatever pronouns they want to use. That's life, man. Get with the times. It's the 21st century. I also got a turkey Tom named Megatron. Okay, cool. I mean, neat if you want to name your poultry after Decepticons, I guess. Sounds like it lives on a farm. I like the G2 stuff, but none of it is for me. Money saved, Jay. Yeah, I get that. Wasp, I love the name. Doritos Jazz. Dorito Nacho Cheese Jazz. Nacho cheese jazz. I love it. I love it. I was going to say Cheeto jazz. That's fine. Yeah, Cheeto jazz. Yeah, that's a good one too. I like it. That's a dumb. I'm going to be honest with you live. That's an idiotic reason to stop watching a show. Sorry, I got to call him as I see him, man. Daylight savings. What? He wants to behead Hotshot? Okay. Why is Legacy Dead End so hard to find? Because, and I'll say it again, I've been saying it for a few years, it's called scarcity economics. Hasbro deliberately does smaller runs so that they can jack up the price because now everyone's going to trip over themselves to get it. It's a deliberate business move. Siege female bots were horrible. The Siege ones were. The Power of the Primes ones were great. They were. I love my Orthea. I know that a lot of people hate them for some peculiar reason. I don't know why, but I know that they're not popular with a lot of people. But the Siege took something. Here's the thing: they took something I liked and made it awful, or they took something you already didn't like and made it infinitely worse. I had none of the problems that you have highlighted. Yes, you had to have the knee problem because if you have the thing on the side of her leg, it's impossible to bend her knee without bringing it up. If your hips are tight or cool, I'm happy for you. If your ankles are not loosey-goosey, I'm happy for you. And if your front pelvis piece doesn't fly off at the mere look of it, I'm happy for you. But I have that mold twice. And all the same problems are on her and Nightbird. The exact same problems. The mold is awful. I don't know why you're doing that to me.
Because it's been over an hour and I'm getting impatient.
Are you getting in the shower?
No, you're on the show.
Oh, you can. I already told people that you will be trying to relax because you were having a long day. And I am almost done. I haven't pre-ordered any of that stuff yet, but we'll see. We'll see. Let's see. Let's see. Hi, Starscream wife. That's what they're saying now. What is that? Thrust.
Yeah, they're just trying to be nice because they know I'm cranky.
Maybe, but they also know you've had a long day because I was telling them that you've had a 12-hour day and that you're sick. So I told them if there's noises, it's Starscream wife going to be going around doing stuff. Slipstream, D, Thrust, C. Everybody's guessing that everything. The answer, ladies and gentlemen, is you got it, Slipstream. Except the reason we didn't see her on Transformers Prime is because apparently she got left on Junkion, or maybe it was Aquatron. It's not really clear. But regardless, she ends up at Axiom Nexus. Make of that what you will. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks, appreciate it. I love the Toxitron. I like the Toxitron. I think he looks really cool. Happy wife, happy life is what Grimlock On says. I don't know about that either, but
Happy spouse, happy house.
happy. That's what she always changes it to. Happy spouse, happy house. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Hey, Ford. We have one very quick unboxing, and then we can get out of here, and my wife could do what she got to do. And it's very simple. You guys have already even mentioned this, but I'm happy to report that I finally got Metal Hawk. I can tell you too, coming down the line will be some of the other things that I mentioned. Not because I'm getting it myself, but I know someone who's going to be lending a few of those things to me for a review. But for me, for now, Metal Hawk, and I've already taken him out. I like him. It's too bad that they left the forearms hollow since they weren't hollow on this guy. Look at the bit of discoloration. Isn't that a shame? Mine's not bad, but some people's I know really is. It's a great mold. Great mold. They did simplify it a little bit here. If it doesn't change color, cool, but it's pretty good. I do have some paint scrapage on the red. That's a shame. But I mean, it is what it is. Be careful with your tail fins, I suppose. I like them. Which gold do I like better? I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see when we do the review. Probably Tuesday, I'm hoping, Tomorrow, we're going to review Shattered Glass 2. Now, I reviewed Shattered Glass 1, that 5-part story, and I picked it apart and I analyzed it to the nth degree, and I wasn't a fan. But will Shattered Glass 2 be better? Well, we'll see tomorrow. I can tell you this. Of those 5 issues, there is one that I think is the absolute best thing I've ever read from IDW. Tune in tomorrow and you'll be able to kind of get the lowdown on Shattered Glass 2. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I love one and all of you. I appreciate you coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we have to offer to you through Spring, or of course, hit the join button at any given time and become a channel member. Please don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget that somehow, some way, each and every single solitary day you right there, you do make a difference in the world. And I look forward to the next time, baby, that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams right here on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres, or the old fashioned way inside the videos.